Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here I have a great article for you guys from Mike over at Light Reading. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. Verizon surprises with ongoing delays in 5G standalone rollout. So I wanted to give you guys some commentary, speaking with some of the engineers at Verizon, and just doing some of the research on my own, looking at some of the analyst days from a few years back. Right now, I'll be honest, it's sort of pointless for Verizon to launch a standalone core. They can't do it on a nationwide basis because they simply they don't have it at scale. Right? When you're going to 5G standalone, that means your entire core is going to shift. And they don't have enough of the radios modernized and upgraded outside of most city limits to where they can comfortably do this, right? Now, within the urban, maybe even suburban core, they might be able to launch this. I think they cover like 200 and I want to say 50 million, if I remember that correctly, with its low band or DSS 5G. So they could launch it, but they're still in full deployment mode. They're still fully upgrading, ripping, and replacing sites. And as we've seen, I mean, there is no real benefit to it right at this moment. Maybe if you're going to voice over NR, it maybe, you kind of have to have that standalone core if you want to go voice over NR. But Verizon's voice over LTE performance is so great right now, why mess with it? It's a great experience across the board. Slowly move into it. Don't rush it. You don't have to be first. And that might be Verizon deflecting because they really can't launch it. They need X, Y, and Z to go right. That is a possibility. But for now, I feel it's just a scale. If you look at their coverage map, if you look at everything crowdsourced, there's just a lot of LTE still out there, like a ton. Outside of most city limits, if you're traveling on major interstates, smaller highways, Verizon is mostly all LTE only still. So there's no need to rush it. When T-Mobile launched their low band 5G core, they had substantially covered the country with its 5G NR core. Like today, they covered 330 million pops with low band. So that's geographically over 2.1 million square miles. So they've went and upgraded those sites along interstates and highways and upgraded the core. That work is behind T-Mobile. Verizon still has to go to those sites. They still have to scale that out. And that's going to take them likely another 2 years, maybe more. If it's the pop count, right, the 300 million pops, if that's what people are concerned about, then Verizon disclosed it would take them another year or two to get there. If we're talking geographically, it's probably going to take them another 3-4 years. Maybe through 2027. T-Mobile started this in 2018. You guys got to keep that in mind. The low band portion, the modernizing, upgrading the core, ripping and replacing, T-Mobile started that in 2018. Verizon has been heavily focused on getting the C-band out there, getting it up and running in the urban core so they can alleviate congestion and start selling the fixed wireless access, because they had an understanding that would be their most positive case right now that they can make. Consumer isn't growing. But to get this to scale geographically, and most of that would probably just be on its low band, the DSS portion. They're starting to move away from DSS, so it would just be the low band. But to get that to scale, my God, it would take them another 3-4 years, I would assume. Because even right now, they're trying to get C-band out to the pops. They're at 230 now. They'll probably finish at 240 maybe 245 by the end of the year. And then next year they're trying to go maybe 280, 290. Those are pops. That's different from geographic. Now, of course, that's the pops. It's going to add to some of the geographic expansion, of course, but they're going to have to go back to all those sites along the highways. You can see it on the maps. As soon as you leave city limits, it's all LTE only. There's very little expansion happening on the low band portion outside of city limits. So I wouldn't be surprised with the ongoing delays of a standalone. There might be some activity in 24, maybe, possibly, but I'm shooting more for 2025 to be, a full-fledged standalone rollout. They got way more scale to gain, like a lot more, if you're comparing to T-Mobile. T-Mobile will be at, I don't know if they'll go past 330 million pops. They got some rural coverage to expand, so maybe here and there they'll gain a few, but they're largely done with their build out. Verizon has a long ways to go with that one. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.